And welcome everyone to another episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast. I'll be your host tonight, Keith Spurlock, and with me as always is the sexy Ray Taylor.
Thank you, Keith. I'm so happy to be here, Keith.
Oh, I'm glad that your internet works today too.
Yeah.
And I'm really pumped today. We have a really big guest, a guy whose career I've been following for the past 12 years. One of my favorite lead singers of all time, Todd Smith from Dog Fashion Disco, Polka Dot Cadaver, The Altar Boys, El Creepo, Knives Out, you name it. Welcome to the show, Todd.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on.
And the reason I wanted to have you on is you are right in the middle of an IndieGoGo campaign to relaunch Dog Fashion Disco and make a new album.
Yeah, we're about, I guess it's a 40-day campaign, so we have about a week left until the closing bell, and I think we're at about 67,000 right now, which is beyond expectations, and we're absolutely so happy with the support, and can't thank everybody out there enough who's contributed to the thing. It's gone pretty well. I mean, we set a goal for $30,000 to do a new record for Dog Fashion Disco, and we made that in the first 27 hours.
Wow.
So that's amazing.
So that was, yeah, it was. I was sitting on my phone just refreshing the page the first day, and the totals just kept going up and up and up and up. It was really cool. All people came out and support for new Dog Fashion album. Apparently they really want to hear one, so cool.
Well, you've always been really road band and really close with your fans and stuff. So I mean, that really shows after all your years of hard work that that many people really want to hear a new album.
Oh, it's completely flattering and humbling. DFD has been basically dormant for the better part of 8 years. We called it quits in 2006, and figured, if the interest is there, why not put out another record? So when we put the idea out there on Facebook, there's a lot of people that were excited about it. So, and through the results of the IndieGoGo campaign, I mean, people are very psyched that it's going to happen. So, and I am too, and the band is as well. I mean, we're almost completed the recording, the tracking of the new album. So the songs are taking shape, and it's beyond expectations. It's really turning out really well.
Well, that's amazing, man. And you guys are giving out some really cool stuff, for the donations that people are giving out too. So, I'm sure that really helped out.
Yeah, it did. I mean, we held some things back from the initial start of the campaign just to kind of, slowly filter out ideas that we had. And Jason and I, we tried to come up with the best ideas that we could. I see a lot of IndieGoGo campaigns that have some cool things that they offer, but it's nothing really tangible that people can, hold on to, like a pair of shoes, or like we're selling some basses and guitars that we're using on the album, signing those and having a listening party, and just merchandise and handwritten lyrics signed by me, and it's personal stuff that's like limited and that you just can't get your hands on every day. So people have gravitated towards those, the handwritten lyrics, those, I think we're up to 75 of those sold. So I'm going to have an even more sore right hand than usual, if you know what I mean.
Yes, we both know what you mean.
The first time I ever saw you guys, I believe it was 2002 down in Columbus, Ohio at the High Five, which is no longer a club.
Yeah, I remember that place.
Yeah, you guys blew me away. It was a great show, and after that I started following you. But I had a really large group of friends that used to hang out at Peabody's, and you always had a huge following in Cleveland. The shows there were always great, Sad that that show
Cleveland's awesome.
or that place closed down too.
Yeah, they tore the building down. We're actually still being booked by the owner of what was Peabody's, who now he has the new venue. He's taken over the Agora Theater, which is a great venue. So, you know, as sad as it is to see Peabody's go and, you know, pictures of it halfway torn down, it's kind of all those memories. It's like, oh my God, you know, it's like seeing your childhood home being demolished. It's weird, but you know, we had great times there, and we've also played the Agora before many times. It's a great room, like I said, great sound system. We'll be back there June 6th with Dogfest and Disco. So looking forward to that, and you know, starting a new chapter. So
That's awesome. And the Agora is in a less of a shitty part of town, I guess.
yeah,
has a little better parking.
It's a decent part of town. After Peabody's closed down and was demolished, the first show that we had played in Cleveland after Peabody's closed was at the Agora, and it was during like this major snowstorm. There was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 inches of snow that fell from the time that the doors hit to the time that we went on, and people still came out in droves. It was awesome. You know, we were kind of worried because of the weather. I understand if people don't want to go out and trek out in that crap, but it was still a great turnout, and it's proof that Cleveland is, I mean, that's the best scene as far as any bands that I'm involved with, but that's the best scene for us. So if they could all be like Cleveland.
It's so sad that only in the metal world would Cleveland be like the awesome place to be. I've lived there, and that place is a shithole, but great music and a great music scene.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I wouldn't move there, but I definitely loved seeing that Cleveland date on our tour roster. We always know that it's going to be a good show. There's going to be a lot of people, and everyone's going to be pumped and high energy, and it makes for a great show, you know. So we never have to worry about Cleveland, but it's a great city, and we're looking forward to getting back there.
Well, you were mentioning there was a big snowstorm. Actually, I was at another dog fashion show a long time ago in Bellefontaine, Ohio, at the old Blue Cat, and it was during a blizzard, and my friend's band was opening up for you guys. Odious was their name. And the sound guy got snowed in, and so you guys are, you know, you and I believe Ollie hung out, and the other guys left. But we just, you know, you guys jammed out like a band practice for the rest of the night. That was just one of my favorite memories from, you know, following you guys for so many years, is just seeing you guys fucking hang out and drinking and fucking around, calling out different bands. Yeah. Everyone was playing different instruments.
That's what we do best, hang out and drink.
Well, is there any chance, actually, you can't see me right now, but I'm actually wearing my Altar Boys t-shirt. Is there any chance with Jay back with Mushroom Head that we'll ever see another Altar Boys album?
I mean, I'll never say never, but there's so many things going on besides that. You know, running our label, trying to set up tours for Polka Dot and Dog Fashion Disco. I mean, just finding time for something like that is probably going to be pretty tough. If it's only the one album, I mean, you know, we're proud of that record. It was a moment in time, and we had a great time making it. You know, and I think those songs stand up even to this day. It's a pretty killer record. So
it's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I really love those songs, and seems like our fans did as well. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I can't see us doing another one. But like I said, never say never. Who knows? Maybe sometime down the line.
Now, you've got to collaborate with some pretty big artists before, like Serge from System and Neil Fallon from Clutch. Is anyone going to be on the new Dog Fashion album? No guest spots, really. We have an idea for a guest appearance
by a pretty killer vocalist that I don't want to put out the name just yet in case it doesn't happen and I look like an idiot. But possibly for the Polka Dot record, which if we hit our $75,000 goal with IndieGoGo for Dog Fashion Disco, Polka Dot will be pushed off, for maybe another couple of years before we do another one of those. Because, if we hit the $75,000 goal, we're going to do 2 DFD records within 1 year, released within 1 year. So, maybe down the line on the Polka Dot record, we'll have a nice guest spot done by a vocalist that's a big influence on me. So
who would be your dream guest, somebody you haven't performed with? Who would you love to collaborate with?
Let's see. If I could have one big name, big influence, I would say Tom York from Radiohead. And that would be the big kahuna.
Is there a specific reason why? Or is it just
Just because, I'm a huge Radiohead fan, and his voice is otherworldly. It's just phenomenal voice, in my opinion. And, just to see that guy do his thing in the studio would be, even if the song wasn't released, just to see how he executes vocals and for us to, write music for him. And he's another, not only is his voice incredible, but I love his lyrics as well. He's a big influence on me lyrically. So he's the real deal. So having him on one of our songs would be beyond amazing, but that ain't going to happen.
You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. All right, I'll be positive.
The universe is fucking crazy sometimes.
It is. If you would have told me I would have had Serge or Neil Fallon on our songs, I wouldn't have believed you back in the day, but it happened, so
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Now, I've heard a lot of people compare you to Mike Patton, and I can definitely see the comparisons and the stylings.
Right.
And I had always wondered why that never happened, or why you guys never got to collaborate. And then doing a little research today, I looked up an interview you did a couple years back, where you were talking about that Mike was trying to steal your girlfriend or something.
No, that got all blown out of proportion. What started out as, I don't want to get into the backstory of it, but what started out as something, I don't want to get into details, but what started out as something small and kind of, really insignificant in the grand scheme of things. I said after a studio session with many, many, many drinks, something that I probably shouldn't have even ventured down that road. So,
right on.
It's really a non-issue, non-story, but yeah, for people, there's people that compare me to Mike, and they do it, I guess, complimenting me, and then also some completely bashing me, say that I, rip him off or whatever. But I've found throughout the years when people like to categorize musicians and bands for whatever reason. There's a lot of my idols who pick little parts and influences from people that are influences to them, and it's just a matter of how well they hide them. I think that sometimes the fact that I am able to sing many different genres with many different voices, there are comparisons that are brought up, but I take it as a compliment. I'm not gonna
Oh, I would too. He's also one of my favorite singers of all times. I'm glad that was such a non-issue, and sorry for bringing that up then.
Oh no, it's not a big deal. I'm sure I'm not even on that dude's radar. So he's off in his own world doing his own thing, and more power to him. So.
But like I said earlier, man, I'm super excited about the new Dog Fashion album. What has been your favorite album that you've been a part of out of all your 5 different bands?
That's really hard to pick, to be honest with you. I mean, for many different reasons, many different albums are special to me. I mean, you know, Dog Fashion is really where we started and kind of where we kind of introduced ourselves to the world. You know, if I were to look back on those earlier DFD albums, some of them make me cringe a little bit just because for many different reasons, but it is what it is. People love them. And, you know, I think that as long as we continue to grow and mature as musicians and kind of push the envelope and push ourselves to write even better songs, what we perceive as better, I guess, is please ourselves first, and then, you know, usually other people follow suit. But I mean, to really pick one, the Adultery album from Dog Fashion Disco is one of the highlights of you know, what I've been a part of. It seems to be our fans, you know, favorite that they hold in their highest regard. So
I love them all. I love the fact that they all sound so different. And I mean, even from Erotic Massage to where that was almost more ska metal,
right,
to what,
yeah, I mean, and, you know, with El Creepo, I mean, I can't really pick and choose one favorite album or one favorite band. I mean, El Creepo has such a different kind of vibe to it that it's, you know, it's all, I guess, parts of my personality and parts of the types of music I'm into. So I don't know. It's really hard to pick. I mean, I really love the Polka Dot records too. It's just, I mean, I think we're not going to put something out that we don't 100% believe in. So for the most part, what's out there is stuff that we feel strongly about. It's a cop-out, but I just can't pick a favorite. I really can't.
Well, I love that you guys are willing to take chances and really, you know, branch out in all the different albums. And, you know, a lot of it, because I grew up with a lot of kids who were into Dog Fashion and stuff. And then certain people stayed with you when you started doing different stuff. And I heard other kids be like, yeah, I like Dog Fashion, but I didn't really like that. But I really enjoy the fact that you try to branch out and just try different shit.
Yeah. I mean it's what keeps it fresh and interesting.
Well, I recently just started doing stand-up comedy at, 31, and been doing that for a couple years just because.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually being inspired by a bunch of musicians and other people who just really were willing to chase their dream no matter what.
Yeah, man. I mean, you only go on this ride once, so unless you're a Buddhist, and then you keep going on rides and rides and rides. But yeah, you might as well put it all out there, and if you believe in it, then fucking go for it, you know?
Now, in a lot of your albums, there's a lot of religious overtones, not so much in favor of religion, but more you just poking fun at how ridiculous some of it is. Do I sense a former altar boy or something in there?
No, I was never an altar boy. I was raised Catholic and went to CCD, they called it. It was like a Catholic school after school.
Yeah, I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, so you know that whole routine. But and I got confirmed, and my mom is a religious person, which is fine. It's I think that wherever people find positivity or a guiding presence in their life that guides them in the right direction to be happy and kind of focused and centered, more power to them. And I belong to the Church of I don't know. I think that what I have problems with is a lot of people who are religious or into whatever they're into. They tend to kind of want to throw it down other people's throats, and to me, it's like Joe Catholic doesn't know any more than I do. He might believe it, but he doesn't know. No one knows, So I think that I don't think you need religion to be a good person. I think that a lot of people choose to have religion in their lives because they need that, and that's all well and good. It's fine. I don't in the lyrics, I don't want people to get the impression that, that I'm some kind of like anti-religion person. It helps me sift through my questions and doubts and criticisms and I put it out there, so it is what it is. You can interpret it any way you want.
Oh, I'm completely with you, and I think both Ray and I, we've talked about this on other podcasts, and you kind of just echoed our sentiment exactly.
Yeah.
But it was just funny that I could smell the Catholic on those lyrics, because I just knew. Most
Catholic was coming off them lyrics.
Oh, I could just taste it. I was like, oh man, I could taste the repression.
I don't think you're listing the albums completely wrong, Keith. You should try listening to them instead of like licking them.
Try wearing your
oppression.
It's amazing that you were able to taste that off the fucking plastic. But
oh man, just wearing. I've got the Polka Dot Cadaver Wolf and Jesus Skin shirt. Wearing that in Northwest Ohio, it's like I might as well wear a shirt that says I murdered Jesus.
But that's not the point of that song.
No,
Wolf
yeah, totally not.
It's somebody who puts on this facade of like being righteous and holy, and and it's like they're actually a wolf disguised as something that they're not. So
which is hilarious.
That really, it wasn't a stab at Jesus at all.
Yeah,
that's what those people that are judging me are. They're the wolf in Jesus' skin, because they're the judgmental. It's weird around here with the religious fervor. But
yeah. When you wear that shirt, you're wearing a mirror.
Weird everywhere.
You're wearing a mirror, and they see themselves, and they're like, I look fucking disgusting. But then
Plus, it really draws the eyes in because it's pink.
That's what we were going for. I guess we need attention.
That's supposed to calm people down too. That's supposed to be a calming color, so maybe it balances it out. Maybe it'll hit them in neutral when they see it.
Lord only knows.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are going to the UK because that was one of your goals, and you're doing 2 nights there with Polka Dot and Dog Fashion. Have you played over there before, or will this be your first time?
No, we played over there on Dog Fashion's first legit release on a label, Anarchists of Good Taste. We went over there. We were sent over there by our label at that time, Spitfire Records, and we did about 9 shows through the UK and up into Scotland. But that was, we're talking 13 or 14 years ago. So we haven't been back since. So yeah, we're psyched about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a camera crew there and document both nights, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun playing at a really small venue. So
where you
hopefully we'll pack a bunch of Brits in there. And what's that?
Do you know where it's at? We actually have a lot of UK listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As far as I know, right now it's not 100% confirmed, but we're shooting for a place called the Barfly.
Okay. Is that going to be on?
There.
Are you going to post that on the IndieGoGo or whatever when the time when it gets locked down or whatever?
Yeah, well, when it gets locked down, we'll post it everywhere,
okay.
And we'll have
that's a good idea.
A direct link for people to buy tickets, and first come, first serve. I think the room only holds maybe 220 to 250 people, so
okay.
We'll just put it out there and say, buy ahead of time, because it's most likely gonna sell pretty quick, or we hope anyway. So
sweet, man.
Push the hell out of it.
When do you think is there like a time frame or whatever? Just because we'll retweet that and send it to our listeners and stuff. But
we're shooting for September 5th and 6th.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking to the agent about, and it seems like we're going to be able to lock those 2 days in.
Awesome.
I feel like my childhood is coming back with Dog Fashion Disco coming back together and J-Man coming back to Mushroom Head. Just that whole Cleveland scene that I got to grow up with. This is kind of an awesome time to be in my early 30s and not having to regret this giant mushroom head tattoo on my back anymore.
Right on. How giant is giant?
No, it's my entire back.
Yeah. How big is your back?
Oh,
We've met multiple times.
That's giant.
Yeah, that was my first tattoo also. And about 3 years after that, J-Man quit the group. And, I mean, Waylon's all right. I've met the guy a few times. He's a cool guy, but I just didn't enjoy the music as much without Jay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a commitment. Your first tattoo, getting an entire back piece of mushroom head.
Yeah,
you don't know.
It's kind of one of those things that you're like, well, I hope this it's like getting a Van Halen tattoo, like, a year before David Lee Roth quits, and you're like, oh, fuck.
I mean, you can only really make better decisions after that one.
Yeah, no doubt.
So.
This is true. Or like a full front Godsmack tattoo. How about that for next?
Oh, man. How about right around my nipple, maybe? Just maybe on both sides?
Godsmack right around your nips.
Oh, that'd be hella sweet.
You'll get all the dudes.
Well, the worst part about my Mushroom Head back piece, it's super well done and everything, but no one knows who Mushroom Head is, so when regular people would see it, they would go, is that Disturbed? And then I would almost have to get into a fight with random people.
Because it's got the like, their little logo thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Disturbed. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was real pumped about that. Like, not only did I go out on a limb and get this giant back piece, but then people mistake it for a band that I wouldn't walk across the street to see.
Right. Well, there is that.
Yeah, I don't know if I have.
Well, you know what it means.
It actually, like, me and 8 of my friends had the same tattoo in different places, so it was kind of more of a friendship thing, and so that kind of saved it over the band sucking for a few years.
They were out of the friendship necklaces, so you're like, just go get a tattoo, bro. Fucking love you, bro.
Forever.
I'll get my whole back. Fuck it.
I fucking love you the most. Look
I
how
can go
big
bigger
mine
than
is.
you guys.
Yeah. You guys don't even like me. That was on your ankle, pussy.
So you've been on the road for like what, 15 years or more, doing the band thing?
Been on tour, you said?
Yeah. Well, I mean, touring yearly for.
Yeah. I didn't hear you. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, there were large gaps in there where we were either recording a record or trying to get a tour or needed a long break. But for the most part, I would say 13 years. I mean, we've done a good amount of touring.
So, out of all that, give us one of the craziest nights you've had out on the road. Like, there's got to be. I know you've probably got 100 stories of fucked up shit that's happened, but give us one of the better ones that you can legally tell us, I guess.
Allegedly.
One of the better ones. Well, we about 2003, we did a tour with Mindless Self-Indulgence. Dog Fashion Disco did. I saw that. It was a national tour. We had a great time. Huge crowds. MSI has always, drew a ton of people. It was when Ollie was first joining the band, drummer Ollie. We went out on the road with Mindless, and back then, me, Ollie, and Brian, our bass player, were all major drinkers. Now, not as much as we used to be. Definitely, Brian's been sober, well, at least on booze, for like 8 years or something like that. And I think Ollie doesn't drink anymore. So, but back then we were getting it done. And I remember one night, I don't recall exactly where it was. I'm thinking it was Wisconsin or something like that. Well, we were all hammered, and Ollie and Steve Rye, the guitar player for Mindless Self-Indulgence, decided to do a gross out contest with each other. So kind of both bands were gathered around and backstage, and it started with, like one guy would put a piece of food up his nose and eat it, and then another guy would put like some salami down his pants and rub it into his crotch and then eat it. And then it was making sandwiches with a bunch of like ham, mustard, chocolate chip cookies, and like, you know, a shot of Jaeger on top of it, and eat that. And then it turned into making sandwiches with hand soap, and they would take a bite of that, and it just kind of escalated to the point where they were both throwing up, and Ollie, or Steve Rye, to one up Ollie, grabbed some of Ollie's puke and ate it, and then Ollie grabbed Steve's puke and ate it, and then Ollie went in the other room and jerked off on his shirt, and came in to the room, back into the room with, you know, his finish all over him, and Steve Rye grabbed a finger of that shit and ate it, and then he was crowned the winner of the gross out contest.
Oh, the worst part is I know both of them, or I've met both of those guys, so I can totally see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, my memory is foggy, but I'm almost 100% certain that that's pretty much exactly how it went down. I don't know if the parties involved want to admit that to this day, and if I'm mistaken, so be it, but that's the way I remember it going that was pretty crazy. That was
yeah.
It was definitely entertaining on the sidelines.
It is always fun to watch two people do really stupid shit. Just keep like ramping up. It's like, wow, they're gonna do that. That's really gonna happen right now. It's like that was the appeal, I think, of like Fear Factor. It's like, wow, people are really gonna do that.
Yeah, or like Jackass, or you know, what's that other show? Ridiculousness.
Yeah.
You know it's coming, and it's just like sitting back and taking it all in. It's pretty great to experience.
Now, speaking of Jackass, how did Ryan Dunn ever get affiliated with the Altar Boys? The late great Ryan Dunn.
The late great Ryan Dunn was a friend of Popson's, and when we were doing that album, I guess as it was being pieced together, Jason had shown some of the music to Ryan, and Ryan really dug it, and we wanted to get Ryan involved somehow because he, you know, had hung out a couple times and really liked the music and liked the guys in the band, and we all had a good time hanging out together. So Jason invited him to do the spoken word part that ended up on Flamingos. And, you know, so we spent hours at the studio and hung out, and then Ryan, after the recording was done, would drive in, fly in, whatever, to some shows that we played at Peabody's, and just hung out and kind of like, you know, was the mascot, if you will, or the guy on the side of the stage, just kind of, you know, getting the crowd going, and he would come up and do his bit on the Damn and Ghost part that he does his thing on when we would play the song live. So yeah, he just kind of became a how many people are in that band? 6, a 7th member, I guess.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, it also brought other people to actually see your music, or I mean, hear it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was sad to see him go, you know, a few years back and whatnot. But
yeah, it was a cool experience. Ryan was a great guy, and, you know, still to this day, it's so tragic the way that all ended. So
yeah,
sucks, but what are you going to do?
Well, we're not going to talk about sadness anymore.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, thanks for killing
Hey,
me.
remember that other young guy that died, Keith? Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Fuck, man. He died.
Sorry for killing it, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. I'm sure editing you can throw in a laugh track or something.
Yeah, no, we don't edit.
Yeah, no.
All right, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're lazy.
We're efficient.
Good to have a dramatic pause every once in a while.
Yeah. Everybody gets to think every once in a while, like, what did just happen right now?
Right.
Yeah, that was sad. Shit.
Everybody needs to. That was our moment of silence for Ryan Dunn. It was just natural.
That was it.
We didn't have to call for it.
Forwarded to your memory.
That's just how respectful we were to Jackass, that we would just automatically give a moment of silence. And
It was natural.
Yeah.
So being out on the road, I mean, I'm sure you get a lot of different bands opening up for you. Are there any bands, like newer bands, that you've heard that you really dig, like the ones that people might not have heard?
Wow. God, let me think. I don't know about newer bands. I'm not really one to search out new bands. I'm not really one to search out bands in general. I mean, I'm still listening to Motley Crue. I'm stuck in a time warp. But I would say a band that we really enjoy touring with that is probably not known or new to a lot of people, called Downtown Brown.
Oh, I've
They're
seen
a great
Downtown
band.
Brown quite a few times. I've got both.
Yeah, Downtown Brown's amazing.
I've
That is
never
awesome.
heard of them. What's playing in your universe then? What are you listening to when you are listening to
I've been listening to the new Dog Fashion Disco songs over and over again to track to and write my parts to. So that's what I've been listening to, and really haven't been listening to much else because that's my main focus, is to have this record be killer, and I don't really want to, gum up the gears with any other outside distractions.
So, what other kind of medium are you like to unplug from listening to and working on your album? Like, what do you unplug? Are you into movies or video games or?
I'm really into True Detective on HBO.
Okay.
You guys watch that?
No,
series?
but that's the monument.
Woody Harrelson,
Matthew McConaughey. Yeah. I've heard it's good. I haven't
It's
seen
great. I highly recommend it. Yeah, I watched the first couple episodes and I don't, for some reason, got distracted and didn't revisit the, I guess they would put out a new episode every week, and I kind of lost track with it. And then I saw some people on Facebook talking about the season finale or season wrap, which was the 8th episode of the season, of the first season. And I was like, holy shit, I got to get back into True Detective, and I'm glad I did. I have it on demand here.
Nice.
So I went through probably 4 hour-long episodes in one day, and then got caught up and watched the last 2 episodes last night. So
it's awesome.
Very, very cool show.
It's awesome that we're able to do that.
I highly recommend it.
Just like binge through shows, like
Absolutely.
you can be busy doing whatever the fuck you want to do. You can get lost in the work you're doing, and then when you do unplug, you're like, oh, I can finally catch up on all the shit people have been talking about, and I can find out what the fuck they're talking about.
It's cool. It's nice to tune out the world and just get involved in something like that. So.
Well, plus when you find a good show like that you can binge watch, it's like watching a movie that's days long. You're like, oh, this fucking movie's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it for the most part, that series keeps your attention throughout the whole thing. It's just, you get done with one episode and you're like, all right, I got to start the next episode. And you get into it, you get addicted. So it's cool. You guys should check it out.
Breaking Bad was like that for me. Even though it's like stressful as fuck to watch, it was like I can't wait to watch the next episode.
Yeah, I've never seen that, and I know that it's one of the best shows ever on TV. So that's another one I'm gonna have to.
You'll enjoy it when you get around to it. You're gonna be like, fuck yeah. I'm assuming.
If you really want to tap into your nerd,
Yeah.
if you really want to tap into your nerd, go watch the new Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
We talked about that for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not really a sci-fi dude, so to speak.
I feel you,
So
man.
that's probably not going to happen, but I'm psyched about Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad is awesome.
I'm way late.
Yeah, Breaking Bad is awesome, and I'm not a big sci-fi guy myself. I've watched the typical Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever. Actually, not really the Star Trek stuff, but I watched the Battlestar Galactica because I heard too many people recommending it, and I got hooked. I don't know if I'm not converted to sci-fi shit, but it was fracking good, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, but Breaking Bad, I'd watch that first. I'd watch that.
I've been holding out on House of Cards too. Everyone's talking about how good that is, and I haven't watched any of it yet.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was driving down the street probably 2 or so months ago, and not even paying attention, sitting at a red light, and they shoot House of Cards in Baltimore. I don't know about the whole thing, but I know portions of it. And I saw this like small group of about 7 people, and it was like kind of a circle of 6 around one person in the middle, and I looked like, well, that's kind of a weird formation to have as like a group walking down the street. It seemed like these 6 people were protecting one person.
Yeah.
And come to find out, it was Kevin Spacey, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, he's
crazy.
just like walking down the street in Baltimore, just doing his thing with 6 other people.
So Baltimore, are you a fan of The Wire? Another like
I've never seen that either.
It's one of those. House of Cards is kind of similar. House of Cards is just kind of a little slow, but it's really good if you get into it. I haven't seen the second season yet, but the first season is one that I kind of burned through. But The Wire is kind of like Game of Thrones. It's really dense. Like there's a lot of shit going on. So it's fucking epic. And I know they used like a lot of locals, like actual people that lived in Baltimore as like characters.
Yeah, I've read that before.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see the seedier side of Baltimore any more than I already see every day. Just makes it all the more
But you would be able to
depressing
judge it the best.
Yeah, you'd probably hate it. You'd be like a cop watching any cop like show. Like, fuck, that's not procedure, bro. Rand Wright's gotta be.
I see that type of thing pretty much every day to a certain extent, not to the extent to which the show portrays, but I see enough of it where I'm like, I don't even think I'd want to watch the show because it just makes me go, I got to get the fuck out of the city.
For sure, yeah. Well, where would you go if you got out of the city? Like where if you watch that show and you're like, fuck it, I was right, I shouldn't have watched the show. Now I got to move. Where would you move?
I would definitely go to the Gulf Coast of Florida.
Really?
Where the beaches are white sand and the water is emerald green, and it's albeit hot as hell in the summer, but right now down there it's probably mid to upper 70s. I mean, I don't mind the heat. I like the beach. I like the water. I like, being out in the sun. So that would be my ideal spot. And I actually am saving my pennies and planning on selling my house in the next couple of years to head down there. So
nice. That's awesome.
We'll see.
Yeah, I know the weather thing, in San Diego.
Fuck you. Ray lives in San Diego.
Yeah.
And we talk about weather. I'm in Northwest Ohio, and after the winter that we both just went through,
I
kind of want to kick him in the dick through the internet.
Yeah. I'm glad we have this distance.
You should definitely kick him in the dick when you see him.
I wouldn't recommend that. I don't.
We've never actually met though, so that's kind of hard.
My dick's pretty safe right now, so. But at the same time, I wouldn't recommend it. Don't get any aspirations to kick me in the dick. Anybody listening? Keith? Anybody? No dick kicking. I like my dick. It's cool. The weather's nice.
Fair enough. You like your dick.
Yeah. I think that's something respectable. Every man should, at least say once out loud in public.
Yeah,
I like my dick.
I like my dick.
I like my dick. It's all right. I'm not too disappointed with it. I mean, it could be better, but it could be worse.
I share my dick appreciation, like that song from Extreme, More Than Words. Really, there's nothing I could say to my dick that I can't show my dick.
That's true. I give my dick massages like once to twice a day.
I show it how much I love it.
Yeah. I like the hand motion you did there, Keith. It's okay. Yeah.
All right, we've covered everything.
Yeah, we always like to get the dicks in on the show.
Music, movies,
dicks,
TV shows, dicks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And speaking of dicks, the only thing that I've ever I don't get autographs, and I don't know why. I got your autograph one time, and you drew a giant cock rocket on my shirt.
Speaking of dicks.
Oh.
And
What a
put
dick.
TFT inside it. So that shirt's still hanging up from fucking 12 years ago. It's all nicotine stained and shit. But
how's that dick looking?
It's
holding up?
looking a little brown.
Brown dick?
It's a little brown dick by this point. But
So I got tired of the pussy. Went to the back door. Now it's a little brown, little stinky, but it's all right. Still good.
Hey. Little stinky winky. It happens.
It's fucking cock rocket. Well, I know you got to go, Todd, and I can't thank you enough for being on the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen. And
well, before you go, give all our fans where can they find you? Where can plug all your shit? Your IndieGoGo, whatever you want to plug.
Well, we got the Dogpatch Disco IndieGoGo that we were talking about. It's got a week left. We're looking to hit the $75,000 goal to do two new DFD records released within a year. Sweet Nothings, which we're working on now, is coming out the middle of July, and then if we hit the 75,000 goal, we'll release the other one probably in the spring of 2015. The tour starts in New York City for Dogpatch and Disco May 30th and runs to June 28th, I believe, ending somewhere around St. Louis. Dates are still coming in. We'll be at RIP. We'll be at Agora in Cleveland. I'm so used to saying Peabody's, but we'll be at the Agora in Cleveland on June 6th. As far as I know, but we'll have dates up on the Polka Dot Facebook page and in the DFD Facebook page. For people who aren't familiar with anything besides, maybe Polka Dot Cadaver or Dogpatch Disco, check out El Creepo, Knives Out, Ultra Boys, and I think that's about it.
All right, thank you so much, Todd.
Yeah, man.
Following your career over these past 12 years, you've definitely given me a soundtrack that I've definitely got fucked up to for quite a few years. So I just want to thank you for that.
The catalog it'll turn your dick brown. So there is that.
Fucking love it, man.
Right on, man. Gentlemen. Well, thanks for having me, and I appreciate it. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Fuck yeah.
All right,
man.
Thank you, Todd. If you ever need to plug anything else, man, just come on here or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter.
Will do. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, man.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Later. Boom.
Your video just went out, brah.
I know. Every time somebody hangs up, I'll turn it on.
But that was just Todd Smith, man.
That went good,
I'm excited about that. I was a little nervous.
Were you? I wanted to ask you before.
I was nervous, man.
Before the show. And,
I've even met him before, and I know he's a cool dude, but for me, like I said, I've been following him for 12 plus years.
I can't imagine, man. Like if I had to talk to like Anthony Kiedis or Flea, I mean they're that's who
a little different. But.
Yeah, but I mean I don't know. I don't know any like local band. I don't know why your video is like that. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what were we talking about? I don't know. I've always been into growing up. I was always into like the popular bands. I didn't know any like local bands. I don't even know if there probably were local bands in the desert, but I don't know anybody that would want to listen to them. That's not like a place where music comes from because it's always like really hot and sunny.
Yeah, for me it was those bands were like he said. Cleveland's a big metal scene.
Yeah.
Out of any place around, the Rock Hall's there, but the Cleveland metal scene and the bands from Ohio, I think if you're into metal and stuff like that, like I was, I'm not so much into metal as much anymore.
Now, new metal,
but
or whatever the fuck it's called.
Just from the hatred you can get from living and struggling in a place where it gets so cold, you can get great fucking metal music.
Dude, that's just like Seattle and all the grunge shit, That's angry, depressed. I mean, it's not as much energy as metal, but it's like, it's kind of the same, like, vein. Like, they're all getting pumped by the same artery. Like, that's just that angry, fuck the clouds. See, I need more of that. No, I don't. I don't need more of that.
I need more hatred in my life.
I'm good with having to wear shorts and a t-shirt.
You've been listening to the Sublime and Red Hot Chili Peppers so long, living in SoCal, that you're just like, what's going on, right?
Dude, it's like, that's very true. I don't know what it's like. I mean, I know what it's like to be like in pain in other ways, but the weather has never been the cause of except for the desert during like summer. 120 degrees is like literally painful. So I've had that kind of pain, but there's air conditioners. So I grew up in the right like time-space continuum of humans. So I had an air conditioning.
I've always said that, like, I am a hot weather person. I would rather live in a place where it was hot as fuck all the time.
It's because you didn't grow up there.
Well,
that's why, like,
I
going
enjoy the hot days in the summer, but you know, skinny guys are really shitty in the cold, and it's cold here.
I guarantee you. Just like you talk about Portland and the clouds, like, I don't know the reality of living in, you know, that much cloudy, rainy weather. You don't know what it's like to live in the summer in the desert.
You do. I'm just telling
you, man.
San Diego is different.
No, San Diego. I've only lived in San Diego for 10 years, so
only
San Diego. Yeah, well,
only a third of your life.
A third of my life, yeah. But the 2/3 of my life that I grew up in the desert, it's painful. It's not something like people only go there during the winter. People aren't there unless you live there.
Everyone has air conditioning. No, everyone.
But you can't go outside because it hurts.
You can go outside, but you can go immediately inside of the cold.
And you're sweating all the time. That's
fat sweat.
No. I was thin in the desert, okay? I'm telling you, Keith. It's not you would like it. You would probably like it for a few years, and then you'd be like, "Holy fuck, man. Summers fucking suck. I need to get the fuck out of here." It hurts. You can't even, when you get in your car, it's like literally stepping into an oven. Like, open your oven and then walk into it, and then try to touch shit. Yeah, and try to touch like the steering wheel or anything. I used to have a fucking hula doll when I first got my car. I was like, I'm gonna get a hula doll because I fucking surfed a few times. So I got this hula doll. I went to a water park with my girlfriend at the time when we came out. Fucking thing was melted on my dash. That's you're walking into an oven when you step inside your car. So that you have to like have a towel. Like you need insulation just to touch shit. It's horrible. Wouldn't recommend it. Don't go there. Go to San Diego.
Yeah, negative 60 sounds a lot worse than...
No, I know. I'm just...
It getting hot.
You know what? They've got their advantages and disadvantages.
Well, isn't the desert
You can put on more clothes to stay warm. You can't take off enough clothes.
Dry heat, though, not humidity?
Yeah, go fuck yourself with the dry heat. I hate the fucking dry heat shit.
Have you ever been to fucking Florida?
No, go to the desert. I'm sure Florida sucks.
All I gotta say is when it's 90 in Florida and it's 100% humidity, it feels like you're a wet blanket.
We're all talking about different kinds of suck. That is a different kind of suck from this quote unquote go fuck yourself dry heat. I got all the fucking old people that would go to the desert and they'd live there during the winter time, and then they'd, hear people complain about the summertime. It's like, well, at least it's a dry heat. You can shove that dry heat up your fucking wrinkly, goddamn, hemorrhoid infested, old, wrinkly fucking ass. You fuck yourself.
So what do you think about dry heat, though? What do you really think about
dry heat? I don't mind it. The dry heat, it sucks. It's the people that say dry heat is like
it's better.
It's not better. It's
better.
Fucking
shit.
I've been in humid heat. Humid heat sucks, but it sucks for a different, like, dry heat.
In a sauna.
It's like going from a regular oven to a convection oven. It's
like going from a regular oven to a sauna. Like
I'm saying a regular oven is the sauna. A regular oven's the convection oven is a dry heat.
A convection oven is dry heat. A sauna is wet heat.
Yeah. It's still a fucking oven. It sucks either way. Okay, I'm telling you. I'm not saying the wet heat doesn't suck. I'm saying fucking dry heat sucks just as much. It's dry heat.
I need another beer and a pee, so let's play a
song. I got a song queued up here from Dog Fashion Disco. Magical Band of Fools is the song, and I'll play this one for our guest Todd Smith. Thought I said his name wrong.
Support him on IndieGoGo. / Dog Fashion Disco.
Yeah, all the links will be in this episode's show notes, inspireddisorder.com/podcast. Which the fucking iTunes, I don't know what the fuck's up with iTunes. It's like only displaying Cassius was the last episode, and it doesn't have the updated album artwork. So I don't know. I might have to like delete it and resubmit it. But go to the RSS feed works. and I'm like, I don't know, I'm convulsing right now, Keith. I'm convulsing here. All right, we're gonna play the song. We'll be right back, people. Go check out Todd Smith and all their IndieGoGos, and we'll be right back. Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, so you sent me a bunch of his music.
Yes.
And that was definitely one of the things I noticed, which he kind of mentioned during the when he was on. How he has like kind of an eclectic, or he dabbles in so many, which for me, like, because when I first got into art in high school, like there was like artists that came in and they fucking they like a lot of them were like, find your niche. Like one guy just did huge paintings of like roads, like these like classic roads in the US or whatever. I don't know. And it's, you know, it got so robotic and so like manufactured that he would just do sketches. He'd basically draw, his sketchbook was like a color by paint, and then he would label each of the paints and he'd have his assistants make the different colors, and then he'd just make these paintings. And, you know, I'm sure that's an efficient way to make money, but I always hated that because I love fucking getting into trying new styles and always trying to like, because you get so much from trying new shit, you know? Like, I would imagine for like a comic, like if you're like a fucking storyteller comic, and then, you know, you've been doing that for a while, but then you also want to try like one-liners, or you want to try, you know, just more a standard formula, or, you know,
crowd just work or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like tools. Like you're able to draw from these different sources. So like being how he is with, you know, his stuff. Oh, I should probably edit that shot. You know, that was one of the things I noticed, which was really cool, that it's like he didn't just you know, he didn't settle, because it's like he has very melodic kind of it reminded me of like 80s, some 80s music that I'm not very good at with names, so I don't know who to reference, but then it got like, you know, the screamo kind of stuff. Like, it's very mixed and eclectic sounds, which was awesome.
That Magical Band of Fools that you just played, I used to play that for my hippie friends to fool them into liking them, because the first 2.5 minutes,
yeah,
it's like a hippie jam band song.
That's it works, dude. It works.
Funky.
It works, yeah.
And there's horns and everything, and all of a sudden,
so that was your intention, sending it to me.
And you're like, yes.
Do you remember? Were you ever into Finch? Or have you heard of them? They were from San Diego, actually. I worked with a girl that went out with the fucking lead singer. But not that means anything. But it's just They were. I don't know how big they were overall, or if it was just in my universe. Because So have you?
No, I haven't. I've not heard of Finch.
Okay. They're pretty good. They only did like a couple albums and then they broke up. Probably just got too Hollywood.
Yeah, could you imagine being in? He's in 4 bands currently.
Fuck, man. I mean, that's awesome. That's good. I mean, that means he's working. I mean, the bigger you get, the less time you can spend doing that. I mean,
he can't put out a record every year, but he's got to pick and choose which project he can work with the other, because
he's always working.
Like Knives Out is a project where like one of the members is from Hell Yeah.
Hell Yeah.
And
that's a good name.
A few of the guys are from like Nothing Face and Something Out. Like that's kind of a super group, like a mini super group, like a B-level super group, I guess.
Okay.
And
are these like all I guess he's not local. He's in Baltimore, but are these all Baltimore. East Coast? Like, how'd you find out about him?
Friends of mine, man, had seen him.
How old
One of my
were you?
buddies was like on the street team, and a funny enough story about the first time I saw them live. Like I told him, it was at the High Five in Columbus, Ohio. It's not even a club anymore, but I met a girl at that show.
Okay.
And I rode down there with a bunch of friends, and so we were all driving back up to where I live after the show. But I met this girl there, and like we hit it off, and during the show we started making out and everything, and then we were talking, and she's like trying to talk me into talking my friends into coming to her place. And I'm in a car full of people. They want to go home. They're drunk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta go. And she's like, well, I'll give you a ride back. And it was like an hour and a half drive back to where I live. So like 3 hours round trip.
Yeah.
And right at that point, one of my deceased best friends at the time came up and was like, man, we're going. And I looked at her and I'm like, do I got a ride? She goes, you got a ride? And I fucking stayed. And we went backstage. Because I was with, like, it was her and 4 of her girlfriends, and she was a huge Dog Fashion fan. So they got backstage, and then I'm the guy. Like, I don't even really know this girl.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, I'm the guy after the show backstage with a bunch of girls. Just like looking at these dudes like, I'm sorry that I'm even here.
Oh, so you got funneled in with the fucking groupies.
Yeah, and
they were like, "Whoa, we got gay groupies now." He looks so feminine too.
And so finally we leave after hanging out for like a half hour.
Yeah.
And we were in the back so long that the front door was locked, so we had to leave out the back. Well, she was so drunk that she didn't remember where she parked her car, and this was a show in the middle of the winter.
Oh, nice.
And being a girl...
So she forgot her hoodie, too? Wait, what's so bad about the
being
winter?
a girl, she left her coat in the car, because why would a girl They don't bring the coats.
They don't dress like Bill Burr. Like, they only dress for the first 5 minutes.
So, being a guy who wanted to get it in that night, I gave her my hoodie. But nice. Being at a metal show all night, I had a thermal and like a button-up over it, but it was soaking wet. So now I'm walking around in like 10-degree weather, soaking wet.
It's like, here, let me give you this ice blanket.
Looking for the coat. I didn't have the coat on during the show. Okay, I had I found a place to stash it. So now she's warm in my coat, and I'm looking for a car that I don't even know what it looks like. And then I'm like, so what is this car that we're looking for? She goes, it's a blue Cavalier. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? A blue. There's 10,000 blue Cavaliers probably in a 3-block radius. And so we're just fucking like right around the time where I thought I might die.
Yeah.
Like it was legitimately going through my head. I'm like, I'm just gonna die.
Were you like around? Were you really like? Were you convulsing? Like what? Are you just saying that? Are you being exaggerating right now, or do you think you're?
I was really starting to shake to the point where I was like, wow, like I might just like if we walk around for another half hour, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like we're just I'm just gonna lay down on the side of the street because I'm drunk also because I didn't drive.
That actually is bad for you in cold weather.
Yeah, I could imagine so. So I'm super drunk and I'm wet and I don't have my coat because she has it. We're walking around for like a half hour looking for this car. Finally find it.
Yeah.
So we jump in the car and we get to the stop sign.
Neither of you were driving. There was a driver in the car, though, right?
No, she was driving, super drunk.
Legend.
And but what am I gonna do? I'm in a town I don't really know. This girl's hot and she likes me enough to invite me back to her house and offer me to ride back. But I had a backup plan. I had friends in Columbus that were coming back the next day. I'm like, hey, this chick turns out to be crazy.
This chick has a dick, bro. I'm gonna give you a
calling
call. And I'm just gonna give you the word banana. You gotta know. Fucking get off your fucking ass. Get me.
So she just starts to drive, gets to a stop sign, and there's one fucking car on this. Like, I can see 3 miles down either way. There's one car on the road.
Uh-huh.
This bitch pulls right out in front of that car.
Why?
Do you know what that car is?
It's a cop, clearly.
Obviously, because I asked, you know what it is. It was a fucking cop.
Nobody fucking drives golf carts in
I've
winter.
I've got weed on me.
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
in a town I don't know.
Well, listen, first off, you are both drunk, too.
Both drunk?
Yeah.
So I can't even... It's not even like I can drive the vehicle home. Like, we're done. I'm going to the holding cell.
And this is all from a dog fashion disco concert?
Yes.
Okay.
Then as we turn onto the road, and I'm like, holy fuck! You know, I'm about to swallow what weed I have on me, and all this. The cop turns on his lights.
Nice.
And now I've shit my pants.
Again. Oh, no, for the first time.
First time this night, at least.
Yeah, okay.
Whips a U-turn and just races off in the other direction.
So you shit your pants for nothing. Great. Good job.
Yes. Then we get to her house.
Okay.
All her friends that were at the bar had driven separately, so they had been waiting because we had been lost, and they actually knew where their fucking car was.
Yeah. Did they all just think you boned in the parking lot?
Probably. Who knows?
Okay.
So then I go up into her apartment, and her friends are, let's say, ugly.
So who cares about her flying? Are you gonna? Were you hoping for like a giant orgy?
See, I'm in a house with 5 chicks, and I'm the only dude, and she's in the kitchen like whipping drinks together.
Oh no! Are you the bait?
And I'm in this room with 4 ugly chicks, and they're all saying slightly inappropriate things to me.
Oh, shut the fuck! Oh, poor Keith. I felt sexually harassed by these ugly chicks.
And then, you know, so...
I'd be worried that I was brought there as, like, bait, and they were all going to jump on me, and she's just going to go, like, to her actual boyfriend's house and fuck him.
I mean, if 4 ugly chicks is still, like, one super hot chick. Like, I'm sure that enough awesome would have really happened.
I've never been in that situation. So
yeah, I can't say that it wouldn't have been the most awesome thing. 4 2s still make an 8, so...
I don't know if that math is correct, but I'm sure there's still some... higher numbers involved when I don't know if it's that straightforward, but anyway, okay.
So then it gets to the point where it's getting later.
This has like a point. This is going somewhere, right? Okay.
Yes.
And then that was my night. Nothing.
And so then she comes out and she's like, "Hey, you guys need to get the fuck out."
Wait, the chick that brought you?
Yes.
Okay.
Told all her friends.
Oh, okay. That's good.
To get the fuck out.
That's promising. You're like, seriously, finally.
She brought me home to bang me.
She read my mind. Get the
fuck out. Her friends are cock blocking.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. By now, I've had 4 or 3 hours of anticipation in my mind.
So you're like ready to just pop at any
second.
Not
even ready to pop. Just I think that I was just overthinking the situation, and then like her friends filed out, and she like pounced on me like a leopard on its prey, just like
like a spider monkey.
Yeah,
she fucked you up.
And then we go back into our bedroom, and this is the funny part is she's
finally
wanting to get it on.
Yeah.
And it's I'm drunk, I'm nervous, it's not happening.
Did she have like what? How old were you? Like 23? 21. Okay, so early 20s. She's same age, I'm assuming, around. Did she have like, I noticed, or I remember back in those days, like girls that kind of just were living on their own and had roommates or whatever, they still had like their princess, like
No,
they had
no,
the bed
she
and
was
like the
adult
stuffed
shit.
animals. She had
It was all adult. She was living on her own. She was like,
how old
she
was
had
she?
shit together. But
Okay.
it was intimidating. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
That would
rolling
be
up
more
to this chick's-
intimidating. Okay.
I'm rolling to this chick's house.
Yeah.
She got her own place. She
Yeah.
got her shit together.
That's true.
And she wants to rape me.
Well, that's
And I'm all
that's a
nervous.
strong term. That's a strong term. I don't know.
And then she uttered the words
I don't think
that
you're
I
gonna say no. Wait,
never
what?
forget. She goes,
What did she say?
I'm going to drive you back for this. This is when nothing was happening. Like downstairs, like I just couldn't get it out. And she's like, I'm going to bring you home for this. And
Oh, it's too much pressure.
oh man, like
not
in my
enough
head, I was
pressure.
just like,
Mental
first
pressure.
off, she said that.
Yeah,
That's
fuck
like,
that.
Wow, I can't believe you said that.
Any
But then-
any women ever listening to this? If there are ever women listening to this, okay, fuck the dry heat argument, the insanity of and the emotions that came through with the fucking dry heat bullshit. Women, never use negative reinforcement if you want it when it involves a dude's dick. Unless there's so few men. I mean, you will instantly know if he's a submissive and you want to be dominant over him. But you will instantly know if he's a sissy boy or not. But the majority, the unsissy boy men, that just does the worst thing. It makes it the worst. You talk shit, it doesn't, like, we're not in the mood to prove you wrong at that point. We're like, I want to do this. I'm trying. It's like,
Exactly.
you can't help. It's like, I'm trying. It's like, if I could will my blood into that area right now, I would be making it happen, and I can't right now. And your negative attitude does not help the situation at all.
I will say this though. She said it.
Yeah.
And it hurt me at first. It was like, oh shit, she really said that. But then it sank in that my manhood has now been fully challenged.
Yeah. Are you gay, Keith?
So I did
was
what I
that
don't
cum you
ever
just-
I did what I don't ever usually do with a girl I've just met.
Ate her ass.
Well, I ate her out.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
I just
ass
thought
was
I'd go the
somewhere
next
in there.
Yeah. So
But I
you
mean,
went- yeah.
I'm sorry, ladies. You know, the first time we hook up, I'm not usually gonna go. I've got to.
Yeah, this
Gotta
is
get
not a normal situation. What now? All the chicks that are fans of you, Keith, because there's many, I'm sure. They're just very scared. We had the one call in, which
And they like the new haircut.
that's absolutely true. If I were a woman interested in, anyway, fuck, I just lost what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, he's not going. I was gonna say something very positive.
I'm not gonna eat your box on the first night.
Yeah, I don't remember
It's not
exactly
gonna do
what
it.
I was going to say, but it was going to sound fucking amazing, Keith. We just missed out on one of the most amazing things I was ever going to say on this podcast. And I was just going to drop the mic, even though it's on an arm. I was just going to throw the arm down and just like, peace out. This is the last episode. But now.
But if you want me
keep
to,
going.
and you're listening to this, challenge my manhood, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was going to say. It's like, if you do want Keith to eat you out, fucking be like, put his dick on roast.
Yeah, just like fucking. And the worst part was, I'm like, in the back of my mind the whole time, I'm thinking, I'm stranded in a place that I don't know, and this girl wants my dick, and it's not like, my dick is not cooperating with me out of all the times, out of all the million random boners I've gotten through my life.
Yeah.
One time my body needs to produce a boner, and it's all like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
You
it's
remember
like that.
junior high?
That shit does not work on request. It's not a jukebox. It's not a fucking. It's. Yeah, I know it's one of the most emotionally painfully experiences a man can probably go through in that situation is to not be able. It's to know. Like, maybe you got some in there, you got some blood going, and then it goes away, or it's just not going at all. But it's like, to know you have zero control over this shit. I mean, it gets hard when it wants to get fucking hard, and then it doesn't get hard when you want it to get hard. It's just like the most disobedient fucking appendage we have. But it's like, when it all works right, whoo-wee, You know?
She filled me full of booze, and he was just being whiskey dicked out. So I did what I don't normally do. I dove face first into that puss, and I tell you that
Salty?
it cured all my fucking ails. Like from that, and then once everything was up to par, I should say.
It's crazy you call your belly button par.
Then took out all that anger.
Wait, what was the anger from? Your dick not working?
I'm gonna give you a ride home for this. Like that kept playing through my mind the whole time as I'm just like, I'll show you, bitch. Rage fucking. Ah!
Yeah.
At one point, like, and here's the weird part. This started a relationship that lasted on and off for like 4 years.
Okay, wait.
Which is hilarious.
Okay. All right.
And and I think all of our sessions after that, like, were so, like, I think I hate fucked her every time. So, like, and she enjoyed it. And one time she was like, you know, sometimes we have sex and it gets so intense I just want to smack you in the face.
Oh, no.
And I was like, try it.
So what you're leading to right now is that your scar on your face is actually...
Sex scar.
Fucking you both had swords. You're like, let's duel, and then it just went way wrong.
Fucked.
Yeah, it went. Yeah,
face up, and we fucked.
And then she had to take you to the hospital because she accidentally sliced your face off.
She's living the rest of her life with one arm, but I got a scar on my face. It was great sex that night too.
Yeah, that would be a better story.
Blood is such great lubricant.
Yeah, it is. It's natural. It's organic. There's a lot of iron in it. You know, there's
Rick is so rusty now, though.
Back to the brown dicks. Yeah. Oh man, that's so that was your story. That's
my first Dog Fashion Disco concert.
Wow,
that night.
I would probably be. Well, you were a fan of them before that, right? Or was that their first?
I really enjoyed. No, I enjoyed their music. Someone that day actually was like, "Hey," was like, "Hey, you want to drive a couple hours and go see Dog Fashion?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah."
That's cool. Like I didn't. How old were you? 21, right? Yeah, I didn't have. I think the first concert I actually went to was, I don't know if I was 21, maybe 20. But it was Ozfest because I'd never been to anything. So
I've never been to an Ozfest.
So we went to a festival, which if you're going to experience music, it's going to be like, you know, let's just watch a shitload of bands and be around a shitload of people, which now it's not as much my scene because I'm not really into metal, but there were bands at the time that were playing there, which I don't remember. But I don't remember who was playing there. But we also went to fucking Vans Warped Tour, which that was kind of more my scene then. I was into more punk.
Screamo-y?
No, there wasn't Screamo out. Well, it was kind of starting. It was starting.
Or was that more the Blink 182 days?
It was, let's see, who...
Some 41 and fucking...
It's, yeah, right around there. I don't know if they were there, but it was right around that time. Like, pop punk was kind of big. Yeah. Pop punk, but they was like... I think 311 actually closed out that, which they're not punk at all.
311's awesome.
They're awesome,
and it is 311 today. Happy
is
311?
It? Happy 311. Hi, Virtual 5. Boom. For 311, yeah. I don't know. It was awesome though. Those were the first two kind of concerts I went to. But I don't think there was a band I did some graphic design work for and web design stuff for, and I actually did one of the paintings I have for sale on Etsy.com /shop/inspired disorder. Use coupon code inspired if you want to buy this painting or any other artwork. I sold a lot of shit in the last show, so there's not as much up right now as there was before the show. But there's a painting up there that I did. The 1.618 is the name of the painting. But I did that for them to show.
What kind of fucking name is that?
It's the number for its fee. It's the golden ratio.
What is the name of the painting?
1.6. It's a number. It's a number. Don't
name your painting's numbers.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
No,
Keith.
I don't. I refuse to.
Listen, this is how much I could do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not even gonna let you finish your argument of your complaining about the name of that. But I did some work for a band, And they fucked me over and didn't pay me anything. They broke up and, whatever. And they tried to start a new band and whatever. Fuck 'em.
Was it valuable experience time?
Yeah, I mean, time? I didn't go up on stage. I painted it.
Yeah, you know what I mean by.
Yes,
like
it was value.
Yes,
it was experience. Definitely, it was experience in that. I was trying out basically I was just like, you just pay me this much a month, and I'll do like all your show. I'll just do everything, and you just pay me like a monthly thing. So I just never got paid, and I like redesigned their website and all this kind of shit. I realized that I didn't like doing, that was my old business before I started Inspired Disorder, which was more like graphic design, web design kind of thing. And I realized that I really fucking hate dealing with clients, because it's like most people don't they don't know what looks good. They're not artists.
Bad clients.
Listen, it's like they're hiring me, they're paying me because I'm an artist and I know what the fuck I'm doing. They're not an artist. That's why they're paying me money. Yet they feel the need to constantly give you suggestions and tell you what the fuck to do. And it's like, well, then I'm not really doing it. I'm not a tool. I'm not a tool for them to make their crappy shit.
I totally agree with that, but I'm giving you I know where you're coming from, because that's why I don't work in factories anymore.
Yeah.
But it's
even worse. Like, my day job is one thing. Like, I get paid to do something that I don't mind doing it, but it's not like I'm passionate about it. So like, if somebody told me, whatever, they like, I'm way more flexible with that shit. But when it comes to like artwork, like when I'm doing something creative and I'm putting something out there, you hired me because assuming you like the work I do, and then you try to change it, then that's like insulting. It's like hiring it's like hiring a band to play your bar mitzvah or whatever, and then telling them what songs to play. It's like, that's not why you hired the fucking band. Well, I guess. Well, if they're a band, yeah, if they're a cover band. I wasn't a cover artist. I wasn't just. I guess I hold myself to a higher standard than. I can't do that. I guess
it'd be like being a comic and you go in there and then being like, we want you to tell jokes about this.
It would be like a stand-up becoming a writer for a shitty sitcom.
Yeah,
that's like, I'm getting told to
write.
Every
good thing you write, they tell you that it's. You can't put that on
just
TV.
Like, fuck you. It's like, I know this shit's good. People like my shit. It's like, I'm not doing like it's. Yeah, it would be like you listening to hecklers and they would influence your joke as you tell them. It's like, you have to listen to the hecklers. Like, you wrote your jokes, you performed your jokes. Your job is to make jokes and perform jokes, and it's like, you have to listen to some fucking guy that just paid a ticket.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if you were doing a painting and like artistry, painting and stuff worked the same way as stand-up comedy? So people paid to come watch you paint, and then like in the middle of their painting, they're like, "You fucking suck."
Yeah. You know what? I would take that. I would take it. I don't care. It's like, well, then fucking leave. I really wouldn't care. It's like, I'm too busy. Like, the fact that you're even here, like, I don't need them. That's the big difference. Like, comedy, you need an audience. I don't fucking need an audience. So if I were to do that, that would be like, I'm doing something special.
Who do you think you are, Salvador Dali?
Yeah,
Fuck you, man.
It's like, no, he's dead. So suck my dick. I don't know. But I did that. I did a podcast. I did a few episodes called Live Chalk, where in my bedroom now is one of the walls is a chalkboard, that chalkboard paint you can get from like Home Depot or whatever. And I would have people give me suggestions, like just online. I did it live on Ustream, and I would kind of just draw whatever the fuck I was going to draw based on the recommendations as they came in. Like, what, there wasn't that many people, but I did a few episodes, but that was kind of like, it was kind of doing like a Thunder Pussy, but for artwork. Like, okay, I'm in front of this thing. You're going to throw me an idea, and I'm going to try and implement that into what I'm doing while I'm drawing, which, I don't know. I might try and do it again. I've always wanted to. This is one of the shows I wanted to start doing again. But at the same time, my audience is different now, and I know I'd get a lot more input. And, I don't know. That's way too much to deal with. I don't know if I could do that. And plus, it's not going to make me any fucking money. I was doing that shit for free.
Well, earlier we were talking about maybe doing, and I've talked about it a bunch, and I'm trying to field it out, a World Star Hip Hop.
Oh yeah. You wanna?
We can try it.
How are we doing this? Okay, World Star Hip Hop.
Like, I'm trying to field it out. Like,
what was your first idea? Well, let's break it down. We'll go through it. I'll bring it up right now.
I want to find a video.
Yeah.
And read. I want both of us to take our top 3 comments, or 3 comments on there that we really.
Just like highlights. Really like. Something stands out.
Yeah.
In the vein of like, we're on World Star Hip Hop. We're 2 white guys that like to fucking make fun of shit. And it's an awesome website to see like things that are probably, for the most part, unintentionally funny.
But I will say this, like when I'm talking about comments, World Star Hip Hop, and I've talked about it on other podcasts we've done, the comments on there are so fucking ridiculous. Like, if you think that YouTube has some vile comments on like different pages that you can scroll through, the comments on World Star Hip Hop are some of the most fucked up, and maybe it's just because it's more of a black website. It's almost like a black YouTube.
It's
like
a BET, like a BET YouTube.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, where they take a conglomeration of the top videos of the day.
I think people submit them to the site for the most part.
But but the comments, like,
it's like it's kind of like Joe Rogan's board. Like, that's
I've
very
never been so shocked
specific.
by comments in my life.
Not to compare. I've never been to Joe Rogan's board, but it's a very specific group of people that post on that. Like, this is a very specific group of people. Whether it's, you know, there's not everybody. You go into an everyday mom and pop store or whatever. Most normal people don't go to World Star Hip Hop every time they wake up in the morning and to see the fight compilation.
Which I actually want to get today.
I'd like to get the guy. I think there's actually multiple people, but I'd like to get one of those guys that edits that together on the show. That'd be pretty cool.
Steve Alien, I think, is one of them.
That was the one I started following on Twitter when I thought of it, but then the next month I noticed there was somebody different. So I don't know if it's always the same person, but it'd be cool to get somebody on because he's like part of that World Star Hip Hop, and he puts these videos together. I think that'd be a pretty cool fucking conversation. I don't think he'd be like, you know, uptight about anything. I think he'd be like our kind of people, you know. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Throwing it out there, Keith. You know, just
I would be totally down. I would be totally. I wait all month for that fight comp of the month, and actually, it came out today. Cut out halfway through it for some reason. My internet was being fucky earlier, but I think I'll watch the rest of it after we're done here.
There you go. Did you watch? I didn't watch Cosmos, by the way, last night.
I watched part of it. I actually fell asleep to it, which is awesome. Like, I found Morgan Freeman did that show on the Sci-Fi, or it wasn't Sci-Fi or Discovery
Science or something like that. Yeah.
The Universe.
Yeah. I don't know what it was called, but I know what you're talking about. You narrated it.
That was, I would put that on every night. I like to sleep with the TV on, and Morgan Freeman's voice can put me right to sleep.
I used to do that with.
I like to learn through osmosis.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I agree way more with the first statement you made than the second statement. I mean, I'd like the idea of learning through osmosis, but I don't know if that's a very accurate way to do it. But for education. But I do like to go to sleep with the TV on, and I used to do that with the Planet Earth documentary. That was fucking just because it's beautiful, like visually. So if you do wake up, it's like, deer jumping through a pond.
Yeah, you're
slow
like,
motion,
super
high def slow mo. But then also the narration. Although I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I didn't watch it. I want to watch it. I started to watch it. It was posted on YouTube. I started to watch it in the morning, but then I had to go to work, so I was like, I'll watch it later. By the time I got home, it wasn't there. But it is on their website, I found out. So I'll probably watch that tonight or tomorrow. But fucking that was huge, man. It was like the biggest release on broadcast television ever. Like, it was on so many different channels and networks, and like it was everywhere. And for that to be just a scientist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is like, if you're gonna listen to somebody talk about something that could potentially be boring, which science is usually boring because most people that are into science aren't the best speakers, but Neil deGrasse Tyson, really awesome speaker, really like sexy fucking voice. If I was into like dudes, I don't know, intellectually, I'd probably be all juiced up for him.
I would hug that dude if I ever saw him, just for the pure fact that like he's making science fun for kids again.
Yeah.
And I wish that someone when I was a kid would have played me Carl Sagan's Cosmos.
Yeah, I may have seen an episode of that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we would have appreciated it as much as kids.
Maybe not. I definitely loved to learn about stuff that I find interesting way more now than when I was a kid.
And I also love discovering something. Like, I don't like it's one thing for somebody to like recommend it to me. That's cool. But like, for a parent to recommend, you need to watch this, like, well, what the fuck are you into? You're not into cool shit that I'm into. I'm into playing with blocks and cars and like vroom vroom. You're into like driving cars and like going to work. What the fuck is that? Like, I don't want to listen to you. But it is cool to like discover. I find that I'm way like Death Squad, like podcasts. I'm way more into that because like, oh, there's this thing that I found online that I never knew about, or there's this band that I found. But I mean, I guess before the internet, it was like just whatever your friends, those were the people that you would listen to their recommendations. So if a friend fucking recommended Cosmos when I was a kid, I'd have been like, I would be a scientist. I actually wanted to be a scientist when I was a kid. I didn't really know what it was, but I
had the worst
the idea
science
of
teacher ever in high school, so it kind of ruined everything for like. He was just so beat up and.
Yeah.
He had been a teacher since my dad was in school, and literally, and I say beat up as in, the kids would beat him up. He's been put in lockers. He's been put in trash cans. They gave him the worst room in the building with no windows. We used to turn the lights out on him and throw shit at him. I played freeze tag in this guy's class. I watched a kid go up, push all the books off his desk, like his teacher's desk, and lay down and act like he was napping.
Wow. He's probably a guy. He's probably into that shit. He's probably a guy.
He's just a meek, nerdy dude. And like at one point,
no, I'm talking about like sexually. He's probably like into being dominated.
When my dad was in school,
dominating.
his wife used to come into school and pull him out of class. Like, she is in a mental institute. His ex-wife now is in a mental institute, and she used to beat the fuck out of him.
Okay.
Like, that's like, she was a crazy person. And here's the weird part.
No, but like, what if he was into that? What if you asked her to do that and it just went too far?
He wasn't.
Wait, hold on. Were you talking about the teacher still?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that poor guy then, not kid, but he
he
like,
was not. It's like, did I lose track?
Not into getting his ass beat by a woman, probably.
Oh, you don't know though. You were a kid. You now as an adult. There's people not weird. I don't want to say people that are into that are weird. I
get what you're saying,
but I'm just saying.
I know where you're coming from, and you're saying that people can enjoy that whole sadomasochistic life.
Yeah.
I think that's what was going on, because the poor guy went crazy, like towards the end. Like, even if he would kick you out of class,
because he couldn't fuck the kids.
No, he was the one teacher that, like, even if you got kicked out of his class, you go to the principal's office, and the principal's like, "Why are you here?" And you'd be like, Mr. So-and-so sent me here. And he was like, "Oh, but just sit down." And you'd never get in trouble for it, because they just knew that, he had tenure. He'd been there for so long.
Maybe they knew that he was into some kinky shit, and that he's like, at least he's into that and not raping dudes.
Son was arrested for stalking but after I graduated high school, I bounced around a few different factory jobs, and all of a sudden I started working at a factory, and that same teacher had retired from teaching and decided to work at a factory.
Yeah.
Same factory. Wouldn't acknowledge any of his former students.
I wouldn't either.
There.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
After all that, but I mean, we put him through a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy that he didn't if he, anybody getting that's just, he just got bullied by the kids in the school.
Imagine getting bullied by little kids. How much would that fuck your psyche up?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's, I don't know, kids, when they get pushed to a certain point, end up getting weapons. He had access to them. So it's I don't know. But then adults, I don't know. I don't even want to touch that subject. Let's not bring that down. Jesus, Keith, why'd you bring that up? God. Make me want to talk about
first it was the Ryan Dunn situation. Yeah, that was a dick. Why did I even say that?
Whatever, dude. You were doing how much through you had notes for this podcast. For those that are listening, I want to throw you under the bus and tell them all which is not, it's hey, everybody, hold on, Keith, hold on. I just want to say, as somebody, I do podcast, the preparation that you've shown and the dedication you've shown to the shows. Fucking, what's wrong with you, bro? What's wrong with you doing all the work? What's wrong? I don't do any work for the show. I don't do any preparation. But you were, I was happy to see. I don't know if I was happy to see. I'm happy to see. I guess you did preparation for the show. You're well prepared. You had notes. I don't do any preparation. I every once in a while, but for the most part, I was like, let's just see what happens. But it was good.
Because of his IndieGoGo campaign, I really wanted to do some background, and plus, sometimes you fall down that rabbit hole, and I got nostalgic once I started looking up all his shit.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk. I was like, I didn't, because I didn't. First off, we only had a half hour. We thought, I think we went about 50 minutes with him. So it's but most of the time that happens, we end up going long. The times we've had they can only stay for so long. But at the same time, I knew you had prepared topics you wanted to bring up, and since I was unfamiliar with him aside from his music, I didn't want to interrupt your questions. For me, because most of what the fuck I was going to say, I mean, unless, a question came up, which I asked a few questions, but, also just, I didn't want to fuck around too much because, we had a small amount of time.
And so it's hard because there's no video, so you can't see when you don't want to talk over people, and it's harder to take cues from people.
Yeah, it is. It's, so how far did you get through your notes? Did you go through them?
I touched on everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was one thing I was when I was thinking about it, it's I know I'm letting him talk, but I know I've done notes before, and I know a lot of the times when I do notes, I will fucking go through them way too fast. So I don't know, I didn't know.
I actually went through them way too fast, and it got way better after I was done with them.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. It's fucking notes are good, but when you're in it, it's it's I don't know. I find it more fun to not know anything. Even going into to go into for the Daniel Bolelli podcast, for instance, I had notes. I had all kinds of notes. But then there's podcasts.
Plus you had to carry it because I was all fucked up on or coming down.
Which I didn't know that. I didn't know that at the time. I just knowing that he was going to be on the show. I was I want to be prepared because he's a smart guy, and I was really looking forward to him coming on. So I want to have notes as well. So, but at the same time, I don't know. The notes I had were a brain diagram, whatever the fuck that's called. So it jumped around a lot, which was good. So it was more like a conversation. But at that same time, it's knowing that there's a topic that I want to bring up. It's hard not to bring it up organically, like you're having a conversation. So, but
I'm glad that a lot of his things pushed me into he talks about snow, and I'm like, hey, remember this show you were at where I was at where it was all snowed in?
That's kind of one of the cool things about those mind or brain mapping things apps, where you just draw topics and stuff. It's like that's how your brain works. Like it relates you to another topic, and then you kind of just flow. But yeah, it was good. It was
I didn't follow my notes in order by any means.
Yeah.
Like and I felt weird like when I didn't know he was drunk in the interview with the whole.
Yeah, I mean
I was like, oh, I'm sorry I brought that up. And he's like, whatever. I mean, it's out there on the internet. I mean, I've said shit drunk on this podcast that if someone maybe brought up as a quote years late, like if let's say my comedy would blow up or something, and then all of a sudden 10 years later, someone pulls up an old IDP and is like, hey, remember when you said this? And you're like, yeah, but I don't remember that I said it, and
Ray
was probably hammered.
Wrote the script. I was just following the script. It's like, I don't know. He's got a fucked up fucking sense of humor. I don't know what's wrong with him, but god damn, he could write a fucking podcast. Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? It's like, I think we're going to get to a point, like, just because everything's out there, that it's not going to matter as much. Like, the only reason, like, crazy things matter so much to people is because everybody tries to cover up and act normal and be like, I'm a normal vanilla person. So when crazy things do come up, it's like, it means so much more. But if your lifestyle is if you are that kind of person consistently, it's not going to be this radar popping thing in general. I mean, in which case, if a news organization were to grab something, they would have many examples to grab from. So it's like, you're going to get a lot of exposure. It's like, this guy is known for it.
If someone goes back and catalogs all the fucked up shit that I've said.
Yeah. Yeah, like me too, man.
A Fox News segment on me, like, say something happened where all of a sudden I was president or up for...
Okay, no. It's not talking about sci-fi.
I've said it.
Let's not
happened.
talk about sci-fi. Do you have a desire to go into politics at all? Well, then why would you say that?
With my DUIs and I've got a paraphernalia charge on my record, I can't.
You probably could. You probably could. By the time you're like cleaned up and ready to, it'll be.
I can publicly speak way better than most people.
That's true.
So I really don't have, like, I could probably destroy some just redneck fucking, like, I would insist on debates.
Yeah. Like mass debates. I want mass debates every night. That would be my only
platform. I'm like, we only have to debate. I have to be on stage with you. And I'm just, whatever you say, I'm going to have a quick comeback.
It'll be all podcast. You just be podcast. We'll just podcast together. And then just like, we're going to run against each other. You and me, we're going to run against, not right now. But I'm just saying.
Let's run for.
I'm not even like prepared for this shit.
Are we running for host?
All right, I guess we could host for. Yeah, okay. Let's do a debate. Let's put it up there. I guess the host for this podcast, Keith hosted this podcast. You've hosted another one, two, 3. Okay, yeah, you've hosted a few. You were on the 24-hour podcast. You have some podcasting experience under your belt, right? Pretty good. I've
probably
been on stage. You've done the talking thing in many different forms and many different venues. I'm selling you right now because you need it.
You are. You need it. I win.
Yeah.
I think Ray just conceded.
No, I am conceited. No, it's okay. So let's do a debate. How are we gonna do this, Keith? How does it start?
I can't even debate you because I concede on all fronts because you are such the tech guy and Inspired Disorder is your podcast.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Keith.
Like I literally am some sort. I'm like that little fish you always see on the side of a shark.
I'm the bowl. You're a fish.
I'm the little fish that sucks off all the fucking bacteria off the shark.
I'm not a
shark. I just jumped onto Ray. Yeah. He'd already been doing his shit for a long time, and I'm like, hey, I'm just starting to do comedy.
That doesn't matter, though. That doesn't mean I'm a better host than you. I'm trying to build up your ego so we can debate this, Keith. You brought it up, bro.
I concede. You won.
No, it's cool. I actually enjoyed you even trying to bring that up. That was pretty funny. But you did. The few times you've done, you could do a podcast. You could host this podcast if you wanted to. If I got to a point,
I'm not thinking that I couldn't, but
yeah. Good. Not that I'm looking to retire people. I'm not looking to switch chairs with Keith. Well, although it would be way easier.
We could do a house swap.
No.
Yeah, let's do that.
No. You can just you move in. Rent it out.
You fly here, and then I'll fly there.
I don't want to have to. I'll have to buy internet. I can't take internet. Not that I couldn't steal internet. I've stolen a lot of things. Just I wouldn't want to have to go into that room every time I wanted to. I need to be able to use the internet everywhere. I have to be able to use my iPad in bed and massage my thing. I have to jack off.
Fucking camping, Dick. You can't just be like, oh man, my tent doesn't have Wi-Fi. Like, I'm giving you a whole house, and you got internet at least in one room.
No, yeah, but that's different because like I'm giving you amazing weather, a lot of shut the fuck up. You're getting amazing weather. Nobody can hear you. When I talk, people only hear me. You're getting amazing weather. You're getting extremely hot chicks wearing a lot of spandex and yoga pants. You're getting you're getting a nice place. You're getting fucking probably another DUI because everybody has those out here. So there's a lot of positives for you.
Here's what you're getting.
You're getting a lot of clubs.
Here's what you're getting out here.
Here's the thing.
Girls love beards out here.
Oh, girls love them out here too. But okay.
Well,
they're popular now.
And you don't have to compete with. You live by the beach.
Yeah.
You're competing with all these dudes that are probably fucking.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a lot of people in San Diego. So there are people that don't like me. They're into like the dudes that are tan and muscular, which I am neither. I am white and I am hairy and I am
this is where your people live.
No. I have people like where I do Ray at night is my people. Like there's
those are your people.
Those are my people, man. And there's more of my people in that small area probably than there are my people. Like you were talking about wearing a pink shirt. Was it the polka dot cadaver shirt?
It's a black shirt with the whole decal in the front's pink.
Okay. So, and that got you dirty looks, okay?
It says a wolf in Jesus skin and has Jesus on the front.
I used to wear with the small time frame that I went to church. One of the shirts that I would wear, I think it was Quicksilver, but on the back it was the evolution of a surfer. So it was basically that same evolution thing of monkeys, turning into humans. But then the dude has a surfboard, and I wore that to church. That's like the kind of mentality, and nobody said anything. But if I wore that in I don't know. That's probably I don't know. I could live there. Here's the thing. If I'm able, here's the thing.
We're not trading for good. I said this
no, I know. No, but I'm saying realistically, if we were to do that, which who knows? Throw it out there. Maybe it'll happen. If what I want, I'm only doing one show locally. Selling my art. I'm not really attempting to get into galleries. Not that I don't think I'm ready for it, but
did you talk to our last guest about that new show that he offered?
I haven't heard from no, but it's okay. Here's the thing that happens.
He offered it to you.
No, I know, but here's the thing that happens. A lot of people say things. So I'm focused on what I'm working on, and if opportunities come up, then they come up. If they fall through, they fall through.
I'm saying that seems like a good opportunity. I would try to fight on that if I were you.
But here's the thing. If it doesn't work out, like the House of Blues show didn't work out, that's okay. Like I'm perfectly fine with that because I'm really happy with where I'm at right now. I know I'm now getting into the rhythm of making stuff again. Doing the one show I do at Ray at Night. I mean, marketing wise or just the branding wise, whatever the fuck, business wise, me doing one show, the only time you can see my artwork live and in person is at a venue called Ray at Night. That's not a bad gig to have. And I'm,
not when your name's Ray.
Exactly. So I'm not having, and I'm, meeting cool people. Like Jesus is a guy that does wood prints that actually got me thinking about doing wood prints for myself. So I totally stole his idea.
No, he's your Lord and Savior.
He is. And I told him that at the show. I told him that, I pray to him and he washes my feet and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so it's like I'm super fine. Like everything that's going on with the podcast, with the new podcast sponsorship thing that I'm doing, like I'm really trying to. The thing I love the most is making artwork. And I love people being able to buy my artwork. And I love the fact that I'm not tied down by geographical limitations of just doing art and selling art in San Diego. I love that somebody in the UK can buy a shirt from me. I love that somebody in Maryland, I think, Baltimore actually, I think just bought a print.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Just bought a print from me. Like I can sell work anywhere in the world. So I'm not limited by that. So, and like being able to have people see my stuff live and in person is definitely a unique experience. It's like seeing a band live. But at the same time, like I want to make a living and I want to make art. Having to show my art to people and have them look at it in person, I mean, I don't give a shit. Like if for them, it means a lot. But if they're going to buy it online, then fuck it, I'll sell it to them online. Like, I don't need them to see... For me as an artist, I don't need them to see it live and in person for them to buy it. Like, if they're willing to buy it without seeing it in person, fucking awesome. So if I'm able to make that part grow and happen, and the shows that I do locally, like if I could just... If people do want to see it and they are in the area, they can go see it every month and see the work that I'm doing live and in person if they want. But for everybody else that can't drive to see it, no matter where, no matter how often I do local shows, what's the fucking point? So if I get to a point, then I could...
take your fire vagina painting there?
The fire vagina painting?
The one right behind you. Oh, what did I call it last time?
I'm not done with that yet. Oh,
what? You had the note.
Oh, it's here it is. Ugh. I haven't taken it yet because I haven't finished it yet. But the title is Fire Vag Moon Cycle.
Fire Vag Moon Cycle.
Fire Vag Moon Cycle is not yet completed, and will go. Because what I'm doing is I'm trying to have like I want to have pieces that are going to be like not cheap, something that would be in a gallery, but also I want to have stuff that's affordable to just people going out. So I'm getting exposed. Like I want to cover a lot of bases when I set up which I think of it as every month the Inspired Disorder sets up a one-man show gallery at Ray Street on Ray at Night. So that's like I do a gallery showing every month because I'm showing artwork and people can buy it. Just because it's not in a brick and mortar place, it's still I set it up to be like I put a lot of time and effort on just how I set everything up. Like I put a lot of time and effort into every aspect of every fucking thing I do, whether it's this podcast or artwork. So I don't know if I could get to a point where I'm able to just make art, do the things I'm doing, and then sell it online and be able to afford to live, then I would easily live anywhere. I would easily swap houses with you because then I could just set up studios and like have I would totally get internet, not borrow it from my neighbors. But it's like that would just be because then I don't fucking go out as it is. I live in San Diego, but I don't really benefit from it as much as anybody that doesn't live in, but then I wouldn't be able to get as much work done.
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm at the beach all the time or if I'm, outside doing shit, I can do a few things, but at the same time, for me, it's way more important to, kind of give it my all at trying to make a living doing this. So it's like I have to choose, should I have fun right now or, and know that I'm not going to be able to be successful as much as I would want to, or I know I wouldn't be giving my best effort, versus I'm going to focus on this despite outside that door is 70 degrees, sunlight.
You should live somewhere shitty, maybe.
I know that's one of the things I wouldn't have minded living in Portland is like I'm fucking inside all the time, but at the same time, anytime I want to take a break, like next week,
it's got to be so nice to be able to go out and it's just fucking nice all the time.
Yeah, I mean, last time I took a break was before I went to Vegas, not Vegas, L.A. L.A. was kind of a break too, but it was also crazy. But I took a vacation before that, and that was like last summer. Even L.A. was last summer. I haven't taken like a fucking break. I've been working at my day job nonstop, and then all my shit nonstop. So next week I'm taking a week off, at least from the day job. So it's like I plan on actually going out, especially since it's warming up here, man. It's not like 50 anymore.
It was 60 here today.
Oh wow, there you go. There you go. That's actually not.
It's supposed to snow like a foot tomorrow.
That's crazy.
So that's awesome.
You should get a giant dildo and put it outside and just have that as your measurement stick. It's like, well, it looks like we're at half staff right now. This is about this is your typical white guy dick.
We got a semi right now, we're at full mast.
We're definitely expecting an Asian by next week. There's going to be a lot more snowfall, and it's just going to be the nub.
That Asian's blowing in from the north.
The east. Come on, Keith. Get your racist directional humor.
No, the polar vortex comes from the north.
Oh.
Dick bag.
Oh, well, I was talking about Asians. Dick face.
And no weather comes from the east.
Anyway,
it all comes from the west.
That's true. That's where it all starts, in the west, where I am. So, enjoy my farts, Keith. Enjoy them. Suck them down in your mouth. But we're at 2 hours, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm disappointed too.
Boo. Great podcast, man.
I know, man. I gotta figure out how to get the music back up. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, nope. Don't want to type things. Okay. Nope. Don't want to open your kitchen inspiration. What am I doing here, Keith?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I don't know either. Nope. That's not what I wanted to open. All right.
Fire Badge Moon Cycle. Start putting your bids in now.
That's right. And Dog Fashion Disco. Go donate. IndieGoGo account. They're trying to get they've already reached their goal, but they're trying to hit that third
so close
ultimate.
To the third goal.
Yeah. Which is fucking awesome. Oh, I don't have that. Great. And it was awesome getting to talk to Todd Smith. I'm surprised you didn't orgasm at all during that.
Yeah, you can't see my dick. You don't know.
That's what you think. Yeah. All right, man. Do you have shows coming up? Shows?
No shows. May 17th is my next booked show.
Okay. May 17th.
But that's my birthday weekend. My birthday's May 20th, so.
May 20th, mark your calendars. And a few days before that, mark your calendars for a comedy show by Keith Spurlock. Keith Spurlock 1 on Twitter. Check him out on Facebook. Check him out
too.
Check him out on Inspired Sword Collective. I'm working on trying to get that changed up and everything. Trying to work on a new podcast about podcasting. Follow me at Ray Taylor on Twitter.
Hey, give us input on what you think our World Star bit should be about.
Absolutely, yeah. What do you think? Yeah, give us, if we were going to do a World Star hip hop segment, we have some ideas.
About comments. We have ideas, but I want
fucking anything about World Star. It doesn't even have to be about comments. If you want to even go past that, listen, just go wild. Go wild. If you want to hear us talk about anything involving World Star hip hop as a segment on the show, which I don't know how regular it would be. I mean, it all depends on our guest and all that stuff. But
I think it could be fun.
I think it could be fun too. I mean, but it would be one of those things that we'd have to be loose with, I don't know. Anyway, send it to us on Twitter, at Ray Taylor, at KeithSpurlock1, or at Jill Himitsu, who is also the person who runs #shows.com.
#shows.
Boom, boom, boom. And if Keith has a show, when he has a show near his birthday,
It could be on hashtag shows.
Exactly, as well as a bunch of other comics. So go check out all the comics that are on the same level as Keith at hashtagshows.com.
Fuck off.
And no, that was like a compliment that nobody believes, but that was a totally fake.
Don't ever say that.
This is a sci-fi comment that doesn't really exist
earned
yet.
That.
Yeah. Go to inspireddisorder.com. Check out all the artwork that I've been working on. I'm just cut. I have a pile of wood that I'm going to go sand and start making more pieces to put up on the store. And you can use coupon code INSPIRED to save 10%.
Yeah.
And so do that, and I will have another Ray at Night. If you are in the San Diego area or want to come out to the San Diego area to see my work, go to inspireddisorder.com/events. I do a show Ray at Night, second Saturday of every month on Ray Street in North Park, Hipsterville, San Diego. Check it out. Had a lot of fun last month, and excited for the next month, and might be changing like spots in that show coming up. Not that means anything to anybody but me, so there.
Take a listen to Dog Fashion Disco.
Dog Fashion Disco. Do it. Take a listen to Polka Dot Cadaver as well.
Yes.
Take a listen to anything. Ask Keith. If you like those, hit up Keith on Twitter and ask him what else he would recommend. Not only Todd Smith, but anybody else, because, Keith is willing to recommend.
I will whore myself out for music, just for music in general.
Yeah, even if it's just like, you could hum a song and he'll whore himself out for you. Just hum. That's how desperate and sad our existences are in this world.
So sad.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, and check us out on Vimeo, YouTube, iTunes, and I probably don't have the audio turned up again on this fucking thing. There we go. Yeah. Peace out.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast. Embedded signals within this podcast have reprogrammed your natural thinking patterns. Side effects may include lack of inhibitions, erectile dysfunction, anal leakage, transcendental communication with beings from 4 of the 7 primary dimensions. In the event of a tear in space-time, please keep your hands down and feet together. Any loss of life or limbs due to interdimensional travel is not the responsibility of this podcast.